Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back up in Portland, Oregon again in my favorite tiny house hotel, Tiny Digs Hotel. If you didn't catch it last year, I came up here and stayed in the modern tiny house and then shared a video of the gypsy and the bamboo tiny house. And so I'm back up here again, and the host put a new tiny house. She now has 11 tiny houses altogether and also working on a 12th one. So this one is called the Zen Tiny House, and this one's quite special. I didn't know anything about it when I came here, and when I arrived, she explained that it's one that they had bought. They built their other tiny houses, so this is the only one they bought, and this one's quite special. It was designed and built together with Bryce Langston, who is a big YouTube guy in the tiny house movement. If you haven't already been watching his videos, he's been doing this for a long time. So he, together with Tiny House Chattanooga, they helped him design and build this very efficient tiny house that he used to travel around the US for about a few years ago, to video some of the tiny houses around the United States. He went back to New Zealand and stored this tiny house, and as everything that happened last year, everybody knows, he had to store it for quite a long time and then realized he wasn't going to be able to come back and live in it again. So he contacted the host here at Tiny Digs, and they bought it and they brought it here to the hotel in Portland, Oregon, and it's here for you guys to come stay in, and it is absolutely adorable. The host ended up redecorating it, so it's got some beautiful colors in here and kind of a very Zen vibe, and I would love to show you around, so let's check it out. So the hotel itself is surrounded by a fence, and it's a perfectly safe neighborhood. They just fenced it in so people didn't just walk in and start taking pictures of tiny houses, since it's pretty popular. So there is a gate that has a code that lets you in, and like I said, there's a total of 12 tiny houses. So when you come in, on the left is the Merlot tiny house, and then when you walk through this little gate into the courtyard, then you'll see all the other little tiny houses. Most of them are marked by their name, so you'll know which one is yours based on which one you reserved. So the Zen's tiny house is over to the side. It's number 10, and there's this great little courtyard you can use at night with fire pits and also these wonderful hammocks you can hang out in, and there's plenty of games to play like cornhole and other little fun family games too. So like I said earlier, the tiny house was designed and built together with Bryce Langston and Tiny House Chattanooga, and this is actually a really special tiny house because he wanted it to have a bit of a Japanese inspired look. So you'll notice that the windows are inset and it's just small in general, and the frame is actually a steel frame. The steel frame is actually easier for transporting around. So I will leave links down below about the builder, about a video about the build of this tiny house, and information about the steel frame too, if anyone's interested. This tiny house didn't come with a deck, but the host built it on so that you had a nice little space to hang out in, and this little nook in here was specially made so that if it's raining, you're not caught in the rain trying to get in here. And there's a keypad to get in, so you have your own code, and then it opens up into this beautiful space that is just so inviting and beautiful and colorful. So as you walk in, you'll see that the ceilings are actually quite tall, and that was done on purpose to give it more of a spacious feeling. I'm tall myself, but I didn't feel cramped in here at all. I came by myself, but I see this as a nice little couples getaway too, or just a solo retreat. And the host really made a nice little space for people to come to and relax and really feel like they're kind of getting away from it all. She put a nice little garden in the back so that you can just sit back and enjoy that little view as you're sitting up in the bed, having your morning coffee. I really enjoyed this little space. It was just very cozy and the colors were pleasing, and the host really made it extra special by putting all these little touches in here. So on this side of the bed is actually a specially designed cabinet that has a retractable TV in it that had a remote to go with it. It's not available for guests to use, but I just wanted to highlight it. I thought it was a neat, genius way to hide a TV in a tiny house. On the other side of the bed, you'll see the controls for the heating and air, and also you'll see another little button which controls the special filtration system in the tiny house. And this system is quite special because it helps reduce the mold in the tiny house, and also because of the two vents on both sides, it helps bring continuous air in and out of the tiny house. So it did actually help with kind of the smells after maybe cooking things, so that helped since it's such a small space. So on the other side is the kitchen, and it's a slightly small kitchen, but it was designed to be a travel tiny house, so they only really just put in there what they really needed. But the host made it special again by adding some nice little touches in there, and there is all bamboo cookware, and she did bamboo for the different holders, and also some cute little touches like these tiny little Buddha salt and pepper shakers. I thought that was pretty cute. The sink is nice and deep, and that was on purpose too, so that it could hold more dishes since it's a bit of a smaller kitchen. This is a cooktop, so it's great for heating up water. I didn't actually use it for cooking, but there are pots and pans available too if you want to do some cooking. This cooktop was easy to use, but in case you need it, there is an instruction book there too on how to use it, and there's also knives to use too, so you really have pretty much all you need in this little tiny house. There are plenty of utensils to use, and she also provides you with a little bit of coffee, a little bit of sugar, and some tea too, and some creamer in the back there. So that is all available to you, and it's a French press, so you have that to use. There's just a couple sets of dishes since this is really only meant for 2 or 1 person, and plenty of pots too. And this is the cabinet for where the trash is, and a little bit of cleaning supplies in case you need that. The refrigerator is quite tiny. I was only really able to fit little leftovers in there. Right underneath the refrigerator is a little drawer that she leaves a couple umbrellas there, so in case it rains while you're there. The space is again nice and spacious. I felt totally comfortable here. On this side is a little table for eating or a workspace. This tiny house was designed to travel, and he did want it to be a workspace for himself since he uses a laptop and does a lot of video recording and editing. So it's a nice space to come to if you want to come work from home space or just come by yourself to get some things done. There's a little bit of storage on the side. I didn't end up using it, but there's about 3 drawers there that you could use to put your clothes in and some other little items. This is a battery, and the video about the build talks more about that. Each little tiny house comes with its own little welcome book that's special to that little tiny house. So if there's any special instructions, that'll be in there. There's restaurant ideas and things to do in the neighborhood, and everything is nice and walkable. There's a nice park down about 10 minutes away from this tiny house hotel. Again, here is another look at the space so you get an idea of how big it is. And on the other side is the bathroom where the toilet is on the right side if you're looking this way, and on the left side is the shower, and that was done on purpose too, so it'd be more functional so someone can use the toilet while someone could be taking a shower. There are no doors that separate these areas, but there are 2 curtains to make it more private, and it's a nice little tiny space. There's just enough room for a sink and a mirror, and this mirror is actually kind of special. So it has this light that turns on, so it's a little bit easier for putting on makeup. I wanted to highlight this sink faucet. I thought that was kind of cute too. And again, it's a flush toilet, so there's no composting toilet in this tiny house in case that's a concern of yours. There is hangers to hang a few things, and she also leaves a little toiletry bag that in case you might forget something, that's there for you to use. So on the other side is the shower, and it also has a curtain for some privacy. And this is actually a nice and tall shower. I really loved it because I'm a tall person. She leaves a few toiletries there for you to use too, for shampoo and conditioner and some body wash too. Again, the ceilings are nice and tall, and this is actually a very special shower. It was actually designed to use less water, and there's this handle here there too that you can use for the shower too. On the other side is the handle to turn it on, and then those two little holders for towels. The shower itself only has 7 gallons of water to use for heating, so this shower head is actually incredibly efficient for using less water. And this is tiger wood in the shower, so it's really good for moisture and keeps out the mold, and also covers up the wheel well. The front door has this little shade that is adjustable, so you can keep it closed for more privacy, or you can open it up to have more light in during the day. And just the tiny house hotel itself is just absolutely adorable at night. She has these lights and this little courtyard, so it just makes it a nice, charming place to come stay when you come to Portland. You're close to downtown, so there's plenty of things to do in the area too. Please like and share this video if you liked it, so I can keep sharing more videos. And also, please remember to subscribe. I'll see you next week.